Hey guys, can you guys hear me? How is everyone today? Did you see the pictures Warner Bros. Released from the Flash movie? It shows Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and Sasha Calle as Supergirl. No, I haven't. I didn't see the pictures. Um, Feeling okay. My little brother is still in the hospital with cancer, and I feel helpless. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope he gets better. Um, okay. The new pictures. Uh, I don't like it. I mean, I assume that they'll do some CGI, right, on the suit. And we took him to the hospital on April 28th, so it's recent. I'm really sorry to hear that. Okay. Everyone's wondering what Earth this is. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Did they ever say what Earth the DCEU is in? Is it like Earth 1? Cuz if I remember correctly, the Flash, like CW's Flash show is Earth 1, right? So if that's Earth 1, that means the DCEU would be a different Earth. Earth Prime. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, what have you guys thought of Loki so far? DC multiverse is whack. Yeah, I feel like they're really confusing with their multiverse. They need to get it. They need to explain it better. How I felt recently with Loki is how I always feel with DC and their multiverses and where the movies take place and everything. But they usually name the Earth based on the years they came out. So Michael Keaton Batman came out in 89, so they call it Earth 89. Adam West Batman came out in 66, so they call it Earth 66. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So maybe it'll be like Earth 2021 or 2022, whenever the movie is set to release. I mean, Earth 2020, Earth 22, yeah. So, I was on Reddit recently, and I saw what is potentially the most disappointing bit of news I've ever heard. Um, if you didn't know, Owen Wilson plays Mobius in Loki. He's like the character that's been interacting with Loki almost the entire show. And in most movies or shows that he's in, he has like a famous line where he just says "wow," right? And so the director Kate Herron said that he's not gonna say his "wow" in the show, which is actually really disappointing. So the first DCEU movie, Man of Steel, came out in 2013, so the DCEU should be Earth 213. Okay. So if the Flash comes out in 2022, right? So it'll be Earth 222. I hope in Loki we get to see an evil version of Thor that fights Loki. That would be cool, but I feel like it's going to be more of a standalone thing. Although it could definitely happen, right? Because we know that Loki is not going to appear in Thor 4, in Thor Love and Thunder. But there's not really, like, nobody confirmed that Chris Hemsworth wasn't going to appear. Or maybe even a different version of Loki that's going to appear in the show. I mean, a different version of Thor that's going to appear in the show. So, yeah, we could definitely see them fight. But I feel like if we're going to see alternate versions of characters, it's going to be more Lokis. Especially since we're already on episode 2 and we've only seen 1. Right, I mean, we did see, like, the few other versions that Mobius showed. But, I mean, do you really count those? The Flash is in the DCU, so it would still be the same. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. So you guys excited for Loki episode 3? What do you think we're going to see? I have a feeling that since Loki went through the portal, we're going to see the picture where he's talking to Lady Loki. And it's going to be, she's going to, like, explain what her plan is to him. And then most likely Loki's either going to try to convince her to help him either find and defeat the Timekeepers, or Loki's going to join her on whatever mission she's on. See, this image, I feel like we're going to see this in the next episode. And she's going to either explain her, whatever her goal, her plan, whatever she was doing with the reset charges, why she sent them to different timelines. And then either she'll join Loki and they'll go after the Timekeepers, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure don't exist in the MCU. At least not in the way that you would assume. Yeah. I know Loki's gonna set up Kang the Conqueror, but I'm kind of annoyed the MCU used and killed off so many Fantastic Four villains before the team even showed up. Um, like which ones? Am I missing some? Fantastic Four villains in the MCU? Like, I'm just glad that they haven't used Doctor Doom yet. I mean, I hope they don't use Doctor Doom in the first Fantastic Four movie. Like, I want them to either make a show or a movie where it sets him up more. Bring in Doom for like the second villain. It's so exciting to see Michael Keaton come back in a modern day DCU movie. The last time we saw him was the 20th century, and it was 1992. Yeah, it's been a long time. Wasn't Michael Keaton the one with the nipples on his armor? No, the nipple Batman was Joel Shoemaker. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Okay. Were those before or after Michael Keaton's? They were after, right? In the early 2000s. It was in 1995 and 1997. Yeah, okay. Wow, so they like rebooted Batman really fast, right? 1992 Michael Keaton, and then 3 years later they went with a new Batman. Kind of like the Spider-Man movies. So I'm gonna be talking about this tomorrow. So the video will come out Tuesday. Yeah. And so Amelia Clark, who's gonna be in Secret Invasion, she said the first people I spoke to with Marvel was their security team. I live in fear that something's gonna happen. I'm gonna say something, they'll get upset. I play a character that I'm super into everything about. So one, that's good because that means she's not gonna be spoiling a bunch of stuff like Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo. But two, it makes me think that she's gonna be playing someone like Abigail Brand, someone like really important, right? Because Secret Invasions is probably gonna have like a really big sword presence, and they still haven't shown who like the actual like head of sword is, right? All these started as Fantastic Four villains: Ronan the Accuser, Ego the Living Planet, Skrulls, Agatha Harkness, Ulysses Claw. Are you serious? Oh man, that's crazy. I didn't know that. The TVA started in a Thor comic, but eventually ended up becoming villains / adversaries for the Fantastic Four during John Byrne's run. Oh, that's interesting. Well, maybe they could, I don't know, tie it into the Fantastic Four, connect it somehow. Because one thing that I've said a lot, that I've talked about a lot, is that I don't like how they just use villains like one-offs. They just, use them in a movie and then kill them off. But thankfully, it seems like Marvel has stopped doing that, right? Because we saw Red Skull return in Infinity War and Endgame, and there's a rumor here. Hold on, let me go back. That said, Well, I saw earlier that it's rumored that Yellow Jacket would return in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So hopefully, if they do that, though, it's a good sign that more characters will return in the future, or more villains that were used previously. The families of the 90s, the parents did not like the Tim Burton Batman movies. It was too dark for them, but it was for the kids of the 90s, not the parents. Yeah, that's usually what tends to happen. Some beautiful fan-made movie story about what if Tim Burton still had the right to make Batman forever. Someone beautiful fan-made. Did Lady Loki create a new multiverse with those devices? I think she did. Right, so what I think she did, right, my theory for what's going on is that I feel like the timekeepers aren't like these powerful beings like they're being set up to be, right? I feel like Renslayer, like the kind of like head of the TVA that we've seen so far, I feel like she's plotting something. And I feel like the timekeepers aren't these big, like, super powerful, all powerful beings like she's making them out to be, and how the whole TVA is, right? Because Mobius was like, well, the timekeepers are in their lair, whatever, like fixing time, basically. And I feel like either in the MCU, they're not gonna play the same role as they do in the comics, and they're just using them as like this face of the TVA, or they like maybe they played this role like years ago, right? Like decades ago, centuries ago, but they died, or they're not like the same anymore, and they've just kept going with that, I guess, with like what they stood for, right? And so I feel like what Lady Loki is doing is she's kind of like trying to take down the TVA, right? Because Loki said it before, right? The TVA never went after the Avengers, even though they time traveled. The TVA never went after like anybody else that's time traveled, that's messed with time, that's done all these things that should have been Nexus events, right? Like like Scarlet Witch is a Nexus being. The whole thing with Westview and Agatha Harkness, shouldn't that have been a Nexus event? And like there's a lot of other things that could have been, I guess, in the same boat as what Loki did, but they only went after him. So I feel like she's gonna kind of try to like bring them down and reveal the true, like what the TVA is actually doing. Lady Loki powers is too similar to the Enchantress. I think she is Enchantress. Yeah, so a lot of people have been saying that, and I think in the credits her name was Sylvie. And so yeah, she definitely could be the Enchantress, or not the Enchantress. There's a different one, right? There's Sylvie Lushton is her name. She's like a fake Enchantress. And so I feel like she could be like an amalgamation kind of like both of them. Because when like Loki asks her like, who are you? She's like, well, I guess you could say that you're me, right? So that I feel like she kind of is Loki, but at the same time, she could have like the powers and like kind of be combined with the Enchantress. Renslayer, who is Kang the Conqueror's love interest in the comics. Also, Kang the Conqueror is a future relative of both Reed Richards and Doctor Doom. Somewhere their families merge. Yeah, I remember. Isn't Kang, his name is Nathaniel Richards, right? He's from like the year 3000 or something. He originally goes back in time to the time of like ancient Egypt and Apocalypse and all that stuff. So yeah, and it is rumored that Kang the Conqueror will appear in the show. So it's definitely possible that Renslayer could be hiding something, and she could be hiding even the Kang connection, possibly. The Timekeepers don't want the multiverse to come back because that would mean that they would have to compete with themselves, and they don't want to be challenged. That makes sense. Yeah, maybe they don't want to have to, fight for like the better timeline. He's also Iron Lad. Yeah. He's Iron Lad and what's the other one? It's not Rama Tut, right? It's not it's this one. Immortus, that's his name. Immortus. Is it Ramatut? So are Ramatut and Immortus two different people? Or like two alternate versions? I think the TVA is evil. That's why Lady Loki wants to take them out. Yeah, I feel like that's what we're gonna get to. That's gonna be the big twist. I feel like either she's trying to do something with Kang the Conqueror that'll tie into Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, or she's just like some evil villain that's either making up the timekeepers or she's working with them to do something. And Lady Loki like figures that out when they go to Vormir in the next episode. Hopefully she'll explain everything, and that's when Loki will start making his own schemes. There's a rumor that John Watts, the director, the current director of the Spider-Man movies, right? The guy that directed all the Spider-Man movies and is directing No Way Home. He's going to be the director of the Fantastic Four movie. So there's rumors that he wants Tom Holland's Spider-Man to cameo in the movie. It's not confirmed, but that'd be pretty cool. Like maybe we could see some alternate version, right? Maybe we could see something like Bombastic Bagman. That'd be pretty cool. Or maybe they'll set up. It'd be pretty cool if they started off the Fantastic Four with the Future Foundation. That'd be a super good way to differentiate themselves from Foxman from the previous Fantastic Four movies. However evil they are, I think Owen Wilson is good. Yeah, I think Owen Wilson's just like Mobius is just like a pawn. I don't think he knows what's going on, right? He just believes what the TVA tells him, and that's it. It's like Loki says, no one who is good is really good, and no one who's bad is really bad. Yeah, exactly. The Bombastic Bagman actually ties into the original Venom storyline, so I hope so. Yeah, and, you know, with the rumors that Sony's planning to, like, revive the, Raimi and Tasm verses, maybe we could see some connection to that, right? And with the new Venom, with Tom Hardy, and with Morbius and all those other movies that Sony's working on. And what do you guys think of the Fantastic Four being introduced into the MCU with Franklin Richards? Right, because we've always seen the Fantastic Four. They're young, they're friends, right? They get their powers. But if in the MCU they're going to show them with their powers already, what if they show them like not so far in the future, but like slightly farther in the future, and they already have Franklin Richards, right? Maybe he's a baby, or maybe he's already like a toddler or a young kid, and they could, you know, branch that off into the power pack and, you know, do a bunch of other stuff. It's funny how powerful the TVA is, yet Lady Loki just wipes their squad unit. Yeah. And if you've seen, like, the TVA from the comics is just like a bunch of faceless workers, right? And then they have like their squad force, which I would assume that these are the Minutemen, but she just kind of just wipes them all out. Alright, there's Mobius, and then there's just a bunch of floating faceless workers. I was so excited when I heard that Morbius could be in the MCU, only to be denied. Yeah. That's not the first time that the actor Tyrese Gibson has made a mistake, though. Because I remember, like, a couple months ago when all the movies were getting delayed, he tweeted that Morbius was releasing on October or whatever, and the movie had already been delayed to January, like 2 or 3 weeks before. So yeah, I kind of don't take anything that he says. Like literally, I kind of just wait and see till it gets fact checked. But if Sony has their way and they're able to revive the Raimi and Tasm verses, if I remember correctly, they said that Morbius would be part of the Raimi verse. I think the Fantastic Four is going to show up in a future movie before their actual film, because they did this with Spider-Man, Black Panther, etc. Yeah. They had Spider-Man and Black Panther in Civil War. I mean, I feel like the best place for them to appear, if they are going to appear, it would just be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, right? In the Quantum Realm, in that city that we saw in the Quantum Realm. So I feel like there's so many things that Marvel's teased and they just like haven't followed through with. But the Quantum Realm is like one of the things that I'm most excited for. Like there's clearly a city right there. Right? You can clearly see that that's a city. So what if the Fantastic Four had been living there? Or, they explored the quantum realm, whatever, they got trapped, they got lost. They've just been there ever since. So Venom and Morbius would be part of the Raimi-verse, so that means Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is out there. I believe that Morbius would be part of the Raimi-verse, and Venom would be part of the TASM-verse, since there was a Venom in the Raimi-verse already. Yeah, Venom is in TASM-verse because Ravencroft was in all the TASM films. Yeah. That's probably how they'll connect it. And we didn't really see that many villains in the TASM movies, right? We saw Electro, Rhino, and the Lizard, right? And then there was like the post-credit scene with the and the Green Goblin. Then there was the post-credit scene with the Sinister Six. But we never saw like a Venom or a Vulture or anything. Honestly, I don't care where the Fantastic Four get introduced. I just hope it's good because currently the best film we have is the Roger Corman one from the 90s. Yeah. I've never watched that one, so I have to take your word for it. But yeah, I agree. And, hopefully the MCU will be able to make them a better story. And I don't know if, right, we've only seen this once where Spider-Man didn't get his origin story, but I feel like we've already gotten the origin story so many times that we don't need it at this point, right? Just like immediately dive into them taking on Mole Man or someone, like not a big villain either because you don't want to waste them, like, but they don't need to waste time anymore on the like how they get their powers, their origin, all that, because we already know it, right? We've seen it twice already. What if there's more than one Venom and there's more than one Eddie Brock? For example, in Terminator there was more than one Sarah Connor in the phone book. You mean like two different people with the same name? Yeah, I guess that could happen. But I feel like having two totally different people that happen to have the same names and they both have the Venom symbiote would be a little weird. Unless what you're saying is like after Spider-Man 3, the Venom symbiote left and then reattached itself to Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock, which that would be pretty interesting. The third TASM film was supposed to be the Sinister Six, but they were even supposed to get their own film in 2016, but I think got canceled because of the Suicide Squad. Yeah, I heard that too. They were originally planning to have a Sinister Six movie in between TASM 2 and 3, and then have them like fight Spider-Man in TASM 3. And I mean, after Spider-Man No Way Home, right? If Spider-Man 4 and The Amazing Spider-Man 3 happen, we could definitely see something like this. Or maybe they'll just completely rework it and like do something different, right? Maybe they'll go a different way with some different villains. I hope they could maybe introduce Miles Morales into the MCU. Spider-Man No Way Home somehow, either to cameo or he could be feeding the homeless somewhere. Yeah, I think a cameo would probably be best. We already had the cameo in Spider-Man Homecoming, right? When Spider-Man webbed up the Prowler, and then afterwards his hand was stuck to the car and he called Miles saying that he wasn't going to make it to his birthday. When he webbed up Aaron Davis, and then we got both the Prowler cameo or like connection, and later he called Miles. But I have a feeling that they're gonna make Miles like the actual Miles that gets his own movies or shows or whatever. I feel like they're gonna make him set in the TASM-verse. I mean not TASM-verse, the Raimi-verse. At least if Tobey Maguire dies, which like the closer we get to No Way Home, it seems like he's not gonna die, which is good. But it all depends on Sony, right? They should literally just play the Fantastic Four 90s theme song in the intro that explains the entire origin. Yeah, just imagine having a theme song just explain everything. That's the point that we're at. There could be more than one Venom. The symbiotes are from space and replicate. I mean, I guess, but wouldn't it just be like a new symbiote? Can there be two Venom, like two separate Venoms at the same time? Or would it not just become like toxin or something? Maybe they could have like an anti-venom is separate. Right, imagine they had Venom split in half, and one side was like the regular Venom, and he was like the villain, and then they had like the anti-venom, and then we had like Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock got anti-venom, and then the two fought. Guys, today's gonna be a shorter stream, so I'm gonna end it at 8. So we got another 20 minutes, but I'm just letting you guys know. So yeah. Did you guys play Spider-Man Miles Morales? You guys ever get a chance to? I've seen most of it, but I never played it because I was hoping to get a PS5. But, you know, it's been like, what? How long has it been since the PS5 came out? Still, there's not enough stock. So, hopefully, when I get the PS5, I'll be able to play Miles Morales. And hopefully the new game. Not yet? Yeah. I just feel like if you're going to play it, you might as well play it on the PS5, right? But at the same time, it's so hard to get a PS5 that it's impossible to play. I still only have a PS3. That is unfortunate. But I mean, at least, as long as you can play games, right? That's all that matters. What about the Guardians game? Because I think that's going to come out on PS4, right? You guys excited for it? You guys going to play it? After Marvel's Avengers, I don't know if I'm going to play it. I'll probably wait till it comes out. Maybe watch a couple reviews and then see. But, yeah. I'm not super duper excited for it. And I don't like how you can only play as Star-Lord. Like, Rocket looks awesome. If you guys saw the trailer with the giant gun, that looked insane. Like, I would have loved to play as Rocket, but you can only play as Star-Lord, so... I mean, I guess Rocket always has cool weapons, right? I'm saving up for a Nintendo Switch, but I wonder maybe I should wait for the Nintendo Pro with the bigger screen and save more money. I want to play Zelda and Metroid again. Well, I mean, it depends, right? Because they didn't announce the Switch Pro at E3, so it depends on how long you want to wait. If you want to wait for the Switch Pro, play games. I'm pretty sure you can play them at like 60 FPS, right? 4K, 60 FPS. So if that's what you prefer, then wait. But if you want it now, right? If you're ready to buy it now, if you want to play Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, all those games, then I'd say, I don't know, it's up to you, but I would get it now. I didn't have a PS5 or a PS4. I guess a lot more people don't have the PS4. I thought almost everyone had one. Did they actually announce a Switch upgrade at E3? No, they didn't. Everybody thought that they were gonna announce the Switch Pro, but they didn't announce anything. So yeah, it depends on you if you want to get, you know, the Switch now, if you want to play the games now, or if you want to wait till, you know, it'll probably come out this holiday, at the earliest, I think. Right, and that's right on time for like the new games that are coming out next year, Breath of the Wild, the new Pokemon Legends Arceus game. Like I'm gonna pre-order Guardians of the Galaxy game for my PS5 next week. Are you excited for it? Because I feel like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like most people are too excited for it. I don't have any gaming system. Oof. Well, there's some pretty good mobile games. Future Fight and Contest of Champions are good. Or there's always YouTube, right? There's good, you know, Let's Players that play the games. So far, I have $200 and I have to wait 3 months to get the rest of the money for a Switch. Well, I mean, at that point, right? If you have to wait the 3 months, then maybe they'll announce the Switch Pro. And I mean, I don't think the Switch Pro will be more than like $400, right? Because the Switch Pro isn't going to be on the level of the PS5 or the Xbox, so it probably won't be that much more expensive. The Guardians of the Galaxy game looks awful. Yeah, it just gives me too many Marvel's Avengers vibes, so it looks promising. I could have false advertised like Marvel's Avengers, and Marvel's Avengers made the game look amazing, but it wasn't great. Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Because like from what we saw, you can only play a Star-Lord. The only combat they really showed, right, was those little Jello blobs, and it's not even like we don't know if it's fully open world. I don't know. They have like some good ideas, right? Like it doesn't have to be fully open world. The Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was a really good game, and that wasn't fully open world. It had like really good levels. And if it's like that, then that'd be fine, right? But it just depends on everything else that the game has. Why make a game with no transaction? Probably because people are so upset with Marvel's Avengers game. They don't want to fall in the same hole. Do you play the first Spider-Man PS4 game? I did play the first. So that's a funny story. I did play the first game on the PS4. I played it when it came out, but like early on through the story, I kind of got sidetracked, and I started doing like all the side missions. And the reason why I did all the side missions was because I knew that if I just blitzed through the campaign, just did all the main story missions, that I was never gonna come back and do all the side missions. So I started doing all the side missions, and I got like halfway done with all the side missions, and then I don't know, I stopped playing, and I never got back to it. So, which was unfortunate because I never finished the whole story. But I have seen it. I know what happens. So so how does the Switch work? Does it come with a charger? Yeah, the at least the Switch that's out now, it comes with the Switch, like the screen. It comes with two Joy-Cons, and it comes with the dock and the charger. So you can either put it on the dock and it'll charge it, or you can charge it with the actual cable, like if you're playing handheld. So it brings everything that you need. If you want like the Pro controller or something, then that's extra. And then, you know, you can obviously buy like the bundle, which will bring a game, but for most of the games you'll have to buy them extra as well. And I'm not 100% sure if it brings an HDMI cable or if you need your own. Something you'd have to check. When they said you could only play as Peter, I angrily screamed. I was doing summer school on my break, and literally everybody was staring on me. Yeah. Yeah. That's like, how are you gonna make a Guardians of the Galaxy game and only let you play as Star-Lord? There's always that portable only Switch. Yeah, the Switch Lite, but that one, like, you can't remove the Joy-Cons and you can't dock it, so you can't play on the TV. This is awesome. What's up? You talking about the Guardians game? Are you excited for it? You know, I think this could be a thing more and more. I think that the future of gaming could be handheld, because who wants to connect a big bulky system to the TV? People want to pick up and play. Yeah, and that's like Nintendo, right? That's like their whole thing. They're like the DS, the Wii, the Switch, right? You could always, it's always portable, at least you know, mostly. When I brought my Switch, it came with everything, HDMI dock, everything you need. Yeah, okay, so that's good. Yeah. So it's pretty much just plug and play as long as you have the game, or you can buy the game, you know, separate, whatever. What's up, guys? The Switch doing that hybrid thing was pretty revolutionary, but the resolution and FPS kind of let me down. Yeah, and that's like, since it is like, you know, the first Switch, right? The first Switch came out for what it was good, right? But now that they're bringing out the Switch Pro, right? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be able to play like 60 FPS and 4K, right? So that's cool. At least the resolution and stuff will be better. I'm more interested in the second Spider-Man game, but Guardians of the Galaxy looks promising. Yeah, I really hope that they show the trailer soon, but with how recently we got the Miles Morales game, I feel like maybe this holiday season at the earliest is when we get a trailer. Diddy Kong Racing song, I got that in my room on the shelf. So the music is working? Okay, that's good. Because since I can't actually hear the music, so it's good that you guys can hear it. Is it too loud, or so I can put it down? Alright guys, so I'm going to be ending the stream in about 10 minutes. So any last questions or comments you guys have, I'll answer them, and then I'll make sure to stream next Saturday at the right time, and that'll be a longer one. The music is fine? Okay, that's good. Yeah, since today is Sunday, I don't want to do too long of a stream since people have work tomorrow. What are your thoughts on No Way Home? I'm really excited for it. I want to see what they do with the multiverse, you know, what other villains they bring in. So they're going to have the Sinister Six, they're going to have Toby and Andrew. So it's going to be really cool. Some of the plot leaks that we've seen are really interesting. With Peter, you know, letting all the villains out and then having to find them. And with the movie taking place at the same time as Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, at least that's what it seems like from everything we've heard. And that's why Doctor Strange can't exactly help Peter more than we already have, or more than he already has at that point. Did Avengers game have an online thing? I'm pretty sure it did. I didn't play much of that game either. I mean, the full-on AAA games that are like 60 FPS are cloud-based on the Switch, and they only have it with Control and Hitman 3 because the Switch Pro is releasing not even 5 years after the Switch. Not even 5 years after the Switch came out, so they'll have native AAA games on the Pro Switch, and have a cloud-based version for the regular Switch. Yeah. So at least, like, you know, the Switch has been out for a while now, and at least it's good that, you know, they're still upgrading stuff. But at the same time, I feel like Nintendo's not exactly competing with Sony and Xbox anymore, right? It's like the Switch is like its own little category. The PS5 and the new Xbox came out, and then like Nintendo hasn't really made a new console. They're just milking the Switch, which I mean is good. There's no problem with that, but it's better to have the Switch, which is already, it's already established itself as being good, than having another like Wii U or something. Although the Wii U games were fine, they were all good. Just not too many people played it. What if Spider-Man No Way Home doesn't have the multiverse plot or doesn't have Andrew and Toby? That would be the biggest twist debate ever, and a lot of people would cry. I'd be disappointed, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd be more interested in seeing what in the world they were doing this whole time, if it actually isn't the multiverse, right? Like I've changed now, right? Since we pretty much know that that's what's gonna happen. I'm excited for it, but I really wanted Spider-Man 3 to be like a Kraven thing, right? I didn't want to do like the whole Sinister Six and multiverse yet. I wanted it to be Kraven's last hunt, Kraven going after Peter now that his identity's been revealed. Right, but this is all fine. They confirmed that there will be an Nvidia card on the Pro Switch. That's cool. So they're making all these consoles more powerful. That's interesting. I wonder what else it'll have. You could mod your Switch to have an Android UI and download apps. You could use GeForce Now or Stadia or Xbox Game Pass to play those big games on the Switch. Ooh, that's cool. I don't really like modding consoles and stuff because I feel like something's gonna break and then, your PS4 is screwed or your Switch is screwed and you can't play any games on it. But I mean, for those people that know how to do it, that's cool that you can do all these things on it. Yeah, but I mean, E3, right? They showed the little, I guess, teaser for Zelda 2, and that was cool. But I'm not like the biggest Zelda fan, so I was hoping that they were gonna show a new Mario game. Because if you've played the newest Mario game, if you can even call it that, the Bowser's Fury, that game was really, really good. So I was hoping that they would make a new game, like a new game like Bowser's Fury would be cool if it was like a full-on game, or like a sequel like Super Mario Odyssey 2. That's what I was really excited for. I think you may be right, because why would Kraven be cast? Well, right now Kraven's cast because Sony's making their own Kraven movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson. When I had a 3DS a while ago, I tried to mod it. It turned black, so I reversed everything, and it was back to normal. So I'll never do that ever again. Yeah, I've had more problems with this computer than I wanted for an entire lifetime. So I don't think I'll be trying to mod or change anything. Do you know the first look of Supergirl suit? And I want to know your thoughts on the Flashpoint. Yeah. So I have the Supergirl suit here, right? This one. And I was saying, we were talking about it like when the stream started. And I was saying that I do not like it at all. They'll probably do some CGI or make it a little bit better, but I don't know, it just looks weird. I don't know if it's the actress, like there's nothing against her, but in this shot at least it looks weird. I've been playing the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man games on my PC with emulators. Yeah, it's cool how you can emulate games. Like I used to play like Pokemon emulators and stuff, and that was cool. If you want to check out the Batman animated story, go and type in Channel Awesome on YouTube. You said for the Batman suit? Or Batman animated story? Which one are you talking about? But yeah, I feel like DC always has the better, what's it called, the better animated movies, right? It's the last column on your screen right now, I think. Last column, this one, The Man Who Killed Batman. But yeah, from at least what I've seen, the DC movies are really really good. Um, DC has established their franchise in every way of film. Yeah, although I don't feel like they're the DCEU is at the level that it should be yet. Yeah, they have the movies, the shows, the CW shows were never my thing, right? I never loved them, but they're definitely good. And compared to like Marvel, right? We're just now getting the Disney Plus shows, and What If is going to be the first animated MCU show. So yeah, Marvel's catching up, but DC's like already established it and are they're doing good with, at least in the animated stuff. All right, guys. So I'm gonna be ending the stream soon. Thanks for coming. I'll answer you guys' any last questions you guys have, and then hopefully, if I remember, I'll make sure to stream next Saturday at the normal time. That'll be a longer stream. I don't know, people really overrating characters when an MCU show comes out. The MCU shows have not been my favorite. WandaVision was definitely good. Like they've been good. WandaVision, Falcon the Winter Soldier, Loki, they are good. But there's just like some small things that like kind of bump it down a notch. But yeah, I don't know. The thing that I really didn't like with the CW shows, like the Flash is the main one that we watched, that I used to watch. It was, I don't know, it was kind of like the same thing over and over again every episode, like there was like Iris being like kind of like whiny little baby crying a lot. And I don't know, those things, I'm not a big fan of those things. Right, like all the relationship and dramas and stuff. I'd rather just see the cool villain, see Flash run fast, see him punch stuff. WandaVision has created a weird fandom. I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, I assume that there's always going to be people that like a certain thing more than the majority. Dang, sorry I missed most of it, Lil. It's fine, don't worry about it. Yeah, so I just said that since it's Sunday and some people have work tomorrow, I was going to do a shorter stream today. But next Saturday, hopefully if I remember, I'll make sure to do a longer stream at the normal time. Also, Iris and Barry were literally the worst. I hated them so much. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like they were fine, right? Like the majority of the show was fine. I really didn't like the drama. Like Iris crying every episode, Barry crying for like meaningless things. There's at least one weird thing about each of the MCU show fandoms. You know what I mean? I bet there's weird things about every fandom. Not just the shows, right? It's just natural. Right? Anything that there is, people are going to take it to the extreme. The Welleses and Cisco were great, though. Yeah, I think Harrison Wells was probably one of my favorite characters, like superhero characters ever. I really liked him, and I liked how they kept bringing him back. Like that's something that I want to see in the MCU. At least done well, right? Just have a character, especially now that they're introducing the multiverse, have a character that even if they die, they just come back, right? But then at the same time, I don't know, it's weird, right? Because you have the sacrifice that Iron Man made, and if you bring him back, I feel like it would be ruined. But at the same time, there were like multiple versions of Harrison Wells, and there were multiple sacrifices, and every time, since it was such a new character, it felt fine, right? It felt like it didn't ruin the sacrifice of the previous one. So I feel like the MCU could definitely pull it off. They just have to do it right. And especially like, if we are going down the Secret Wars path, um, right now that we're gonna have the scrolls and stuff, then I feel like they'll do it eventually. Right after I saw episode 2 of Loki, my friend texted me that people are already creating weird art of Lady Loki. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was bound to happen, right? The Batman fan made story, Batman Forever. Is that what you were talking about? The HR especially. I remember HR quite well. Was that the one with the drumsticks? Because that was my favorite one. Come back, but it doesn't feel like the same character. It didn't really undercut the OG character. Yeah, exactly. So they like changed the character enough that it didn't feel like the same character at all. So it like didn't affect the previous versions. And I feel like if you really wanted to, right? The MCU never tackled like Tony Stark's like drinking problem and all that. And while it's not that big of a change, and I don't feel like it's something that's necessary in the MCU, if you make it like, there's different versions of these characters that you could do, right? You could always do that version, or you could do the Superior Iron Man, or you could. There's a lot of other versions. When they redid the script for Batman Forever, go to that video where it has Michael Keaton, Robbie Williams. Remember that, and we'll talk about it next Saturday. HR was the not smart one with the drumsticks. Yeah, that was probably my favorite part. Harrison Wells, at least of the Flash show. All right, thank you everyone for coming. I'll answer any questions that I possibly can for the next 4 minutes, and then I'll stream again next Saturday. Sorry that this one was a shorter one.